When we're given a percent, in order to actually work with it, we need to do a conversion to an ordinary ratio or a fraction, or more generally, a number. How do we do that? Easily enough, to convert a percent to a number, we simply rewrite it as a possibly complex fraction with denominator 100. So if we have 25%, we would rewrite that as 25 hundredths. If we have 17 1/3%, we would rewrite that as 17 1/3 over 100. If we have 4.1%, we would rewrite that as 4.1 over 100. Of course, at that point, we typically want to simplify that complex fraction somehow, writing the result as either a fraction or a decimal. To write the result as a fraction, we simply simplify the complex fraction. So 25%, that's 25 hundredths. I see that these numbers have a common factor of 25, and so I get the simplified fraction 1/4. 17 1/3%, that's 17 1/3 hundredths. In order to simplify this, since I have a fraction in the numerator, I need to do this division. 17 times 3 is 51, plus 1 is 52. You may use a calculator for that arithmetic if you so desire. Times the reciprocal of 100 is 1/100th. So 52 3/100ths. And now I see that 4 is a common factor of my numerator and denominator. So my simplified fraction is 13/75ths. If I want to write the result as a decimal, I just do the division. So 25% is 25 hundredths, which is 25 divided by 100, which should be 0.25. You may recall that there's a shortcut to dividing by 100. In dividing by 100, our shortcut is to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the decimal point in 25 is here. 2 places further to the left, the decimal point will be here. 4.1%, that's 4.1 over 100. In other words, 4.1 divided by 100. So, using my shortcut, I get 0.041. Also note, you can absolutely use a calculator for this if you like. We could take 25 hundredths to a fraction and get our 1/4. We could take 17 1/3 hundredths to a fraction and get our 13/75ths. Or we could take 25 hundredths and simply leave it as a decimal to get our 0.25. We could take 4.1 hundredths and simply leave it as a decimal to get our 0.014. You can use a calculator if you like to convert from a percent to a number. And also note, we choose whichever is easier of a decimal or a fraction. as our number. In particular, the big time that we'll want to use a fraction is if we get a repeating decimal, because doing any sort of arithmetic with a repeating decimal is just really awkward. Other than that, we can use whichever one we prefer of a decimal or a fraction.